asked a question from Dr. Hani and a subsequent question asked by Brother Hisham from Dr. Hani Al-Manna. One scenario is that I go and meet with a high network individual running a big business, having a money. I give all the presentation to him or her, and then he shows a lot of interest and said, Inshallah Ta'ala, I will do something. But when the time comes, he gives money to another charity. And the subsequent question from Brother Hisham, you can ask by yourself.
Okay. The first question is, never go to a big donor to talk about yourself from the beginning. When you go to those people, you have to study what they are doing. What is their interest? What is the value of their organization or their company or their institution? Talk about them to make them to be interested to listen to you. When you start talking about yourself, they will shut off, switch off. And this is what we have been doing in the past. We used to go to the donors with an organization or businessman. Even sometimes, if it's a private company, the hobby, he can play football, who's his football team, a basketball team, whatever it is. He will be listening to you with interest. Then at the end of it, what do you want from me? Okay? This is how we used to do it in the good old days. Okay? So let him to be the Madonna of the meeting. You cannot be the Madonna because you are the beggar. Okay? The beggar cannot become the Madonna.
Yes.
But once you make him the Madonna will pay for you what you want. I was going one day for 10-15 minutes. A meeting with big businessman. This was long time ago. When I started about him, his company, I was there for about 45 minutes. Yes. You heard about me? Yeah. Yes, what do you want? And they signed the check. On the day. This is how to do it. Don't rush throwing your wealth in a rubbish bin. Because he's not going to be interested. Because too many people will come to talk to him, will be far more better sometimes than you in the way they present themselves. Yes, Brother Sham.
So following from the question, so if they are interested, you don't speak about yourself, they ask about you. They ask about your prices, they ask about your operation, they ask all questions, and they say we want to do projects with you, but then when it's time for the project and you follow it up, they don't respond to you.
This is normal. Not for every visit you get the flower. Not for every visit you get the fruit. My example was with Sheikh Zayed ibn Sultan Al Nahyan organization in Emirat. I mentioned this before. I visited them for 5 years. Whenever I come from Pakistan or Bangladesh, I stop in Dubai, Abu Dhabi. 5 years. Nothing. After 5 years, I started to bear the fruit. Sometimes you go for the first time and they are interested, but they don't know you yet. So they have somebody closer to them. So you have to keep trying to convince them. Actually, and this is how you plant grass. The grass grew in a week. You plant wheat, 3 months. You plant fruitful tree, few years. You plant oak and mahogany tree, it takes 20, 30, 40 years. You plant tabaldi. Tabaldi tree lasts for about 300-400 years. And you can make an office inside the trunk of the tabaldi tree. And this is in Equatoria. Any other question from you people? I've been paid to answer your question. Sir, any other question from the ladies? يلا يا بنات، انتوا هتناموا ولا ايه؟ انتوا محدش قال لكم انتوا نور عينيا ولا ايه؟ ما شاء الله يا رجاله مش يا بنات، ها؟ انتوا بتضحكوا ليه؟ عايز اتكلم ولا ايه؟ ايه يا غزاويه؟ تعالي يلا قومي. ايه السؤال؟ Go and get the question from here and bring it. What was the question? What is the question?
The question is
The question how?
how do you build trust with major donors?
How you build trust with major donors. The most important thing, sister, what's your name? From Norway? Huh? Sana. The most important thing is transparency and honesty. If you cannot do it, don't do it. Don't promise something that you cannot deliver. And when you do a mistake, say, I done a mistake. When you say, I take an administration cost, I take administration cost. Somebody else said 0%. There's no, I don't have something called 0%. If you don't pay the administration cost, I'm sorry. How I'm going to run the operation? Be honest, transparent, and accountable. Accountable to whom? To him, to the local community, to the right holders, and to Allah. And believe that the rizq is not from him. If Allah wants him to give you the money, Allah will let him to give the money. The rizq is from Allah. You go there to deliver a message and rely that the rizq is in the hand of Allah. That's it. Anybody else? Sisters. يلا نعيمة. يلا انت اسمك ايه؟ عائشة. يلا اسمك انت بتاعت الاي تي ولا اي؟ ايه السؤال؟ ما في سؤال ثاني؟ ما في سؤال ثاني؟ ده انا صحيت من النوم. والله العظيم ثلاثة. انتوا كلكم نايمين؟ ايوه بتاعت فلسطين. استخبت ايه؟ يا فلسطين، يا ليبيا، يا كويت، يا باكستان، زندباد، باكستان الفن. وإنس ليبيا، يلا يا ليبيا. ما رفعت ايدك ليه؟ Anybody else؟ ايوه.
How do you build great leaders?
Great leaders have to be built by their own leaders. How? You have to empower the young people from the very early stages. And this should be a part of your job description. If you want to create a legacy for yourself, you have to empower the younger generation while you are in position, while you are in power, while you are in leadership. To listen to them, to put them at the edge of the cliff and push them to make initiatives. If they fail, so what? We failed before, but we tried again. Encourage them to keep trying. Encourage them to make initiatives. Encourage them not to be ashamed of failing, but actually be ashamed of not trying. Shadow them, then let them to start themselves. I was with my office manager. My office manager, his name is Khalid Muallad. He's working now at UN, OCHA, in New York. When he came with me one day to meet some big donors in the Middle East, I told them, you sit, nobody will look at you. Because you are the office manager, and everybody will recognize me and will never look at you. He took it seriously and kept listening to all my discussion with the donors. Then he started to speak and people start to talk to him, not to talk to me. took the challenge. And they told me, you listen, now they don't look at you, you don't talk to you, you talk to me. And then when you meet Khalid Mulid in America, he will tell you that. Give him the challenge to take the leadership in his hand. He said, listen, ask the question and actually deliver the answers. If you don't do that, you will never become a leader. This kind of things, it needs you as a leader to believe that you can create leadership. Leadership is about how to create fellowship of leaders, not fellowship of followers. Leadership is to create the flow for others to follow you, not to keep following others. Leadership, Sister Aisha, is when you bring your own idea on the table and fight for it, trying to convince other people to believe in it. Leadership is about how you become persistent, committed, and trying hard to convince people about your message, to let them to believe in your message. This is leadership. And this will be done while the current leader gives you the space. If the current leadership does not give you a space, you will never become a leader. You will always become a follower. Anything else? Yes? The backbencher. Yes? No? Yes? No? Yes? No? How about you? What's your question?
I don't know. Yeah.
You don't know. How about your question?
What is the best way to serve? What is the best way to serve?
Serve. The best way to serve is to be humble and show humility and be people's man or people's woman. When you are with them, you are no different. When you are with them, you do not become more distinct than them. When you go there, wear casual clothes, clean clothes, but not extravagant clothes. You don't wear the clothes which is very expensive. You don't talk about terminology which you don't understand. You don't use different philosophy which they have no idea about it. Become listeners before you talk. Give them the chance to speak, the time to speak, and the ability to express their opinions. And encourage them to bring what is in their heart on the table. Give them the confidence, actually, to speak and to express what they have, and be a listener. Maybe if the meeting for an hour, they speak for 40 minutes, and they speak for 10 or 20 minutes. It's not about you to speak. It's about you to listen and learn how to respond to their demands. Be patient, because they are not exposed very much to the outside world. But in Arabic is duck. You eat duck? I don't. I eat with. What I was talking about?
Listen to them.
Listen to them. Be patient. Absolutely patient. Sister IT. Sister Digital. Sister Digital, yeah. She's Egyptian from Munafaya. The worst individual of Munafaya become a prime minister, our president. You're not allowed to laugh, huh? What was the question?
How to serve.
How to serve.
You were talking to listen to them.
Listen to them. So we have to believe. I mentioned this morning the seed, the right seed, the fertile soil, the right climate, and the farmer. The most fertile soil is the community. unless you plow the community, you cannot discover the gold or the oil or the gas or whatever is in the depths of the community underneath your feet. Wealth is not from outside. Wealth is underneath your feet. And the most fertile and wealthy part is the community that actually you are trying to help. Don't talk to them as they are beneficiaries. We stopped using the word beneficiary a long time ago. They are partners. They are yes, they are partners. They are equal to us. Equal to us. And they have more experience in their area than us. We might be reading about them, but we are not living their issue, because they are living their issue every day, 24 hours. This is how you serve. And review every now and then, give the time to criticize you. Yes. Yes.
What's a story that's really touched you that you've had over your career?
What's
A
it?
story that really touched you.
A story that you've experienced or had during your career that you always remember, like it touched you.
Oh my God. It's Bosnia, as somebody said that. Bosnia was the ugliest, or is and was and will be the ugliest scar on the face of humanity. Bosnia gave up the life of 80% of the 250,000 people who died during the conflict. The conflict was called ethnic cleansing. Ethnic cleansing and genocide. The West and the East, especially the Arab and Muslim countries, allowed the Serb for 3 years, not opening their mouth, to clean the Muslims from Europe. The Muslims stood back to regain their entity, and at the time of trying to win the war, the Dayton treatment came to suppress the Bosnian again. 40 to 60,000 young girls, sister, 40 to 60,000 of young girls have been systematically raped before the time of Viagra. The government used to give them tablets, the men, to attack the girl 5-6 times a day. And they did not release them before 5 or 6 months, so to force them to become pregnant. Young girls were actually raped in front of their father or their husbands. This was a very ugly start. 600 to 700 mosques, including listed mosques at the UN and UNESCO, destroyed totally, while all the churches in the Muslim side were intact till the peace came. And Ali Izabegovic accepted the unjust peace. Unjust peace, actually, at that time. So the uglies were listened to, were crying like boys, like girls at that time, 92, 93, 94, 95. Then Srebrenica came, which is the ugliest scar in the face of United Nations peacekeeping forces from Holland. When they sat down with Chetnik and they took the city, and within 3 days 14,000 young men have disappeared, and only they found the bodies or the remains of 8,500 up till now, and still mass graves being discovered up till now. This is Bosnia, in the middle of the heart of the highly civilized and the most civilized Europe and America. Then Kosovo came afterwards in 1999, actually, and they were trying to do the same again to the Kosovo. But America and the other interfere because khalas, finished. So Bosnia was the ugliest scar. But when you come back to the permanent scar is Palestine. Then the other scars, Uyghur in China, Rohingya, Myanmar, Kashmir, Makbuza Kashmir in India, DRC in Congo. It's a Christian country, but a very ugly scar. Very ugly scar. It is the one of the richest country on earth. Been stolen, but from whom? From the highly civilized countries. Taking the raw material from them, while it's controlled by 85 to 90 armed groups. DRC has got at least 5 million internally displaced people. DRC was the country, it was called Congo before. 1960s, Patrice Lumumba was elected to be the first independent prime minister. And when he delivered his speech of independence against Belgium, he was within 6 months disappeared, killed, and his body dissolved. Go and read Patrice Lumumba. Patrice Lumumba. Patrice Lumumba. Not because he was a Christian. We don't stand for justice for him. Up till now, DRC is a very ugly and painful scar for myself. I have not been there, but I feel ashamed of myself as a Muslim of not standing next to them. And look at the humanitarian West, how they treated the white Christian in Ukraine and how they are treated the black Christian in DRC. That's why my talk this morning about being global or universal is a must. You have to understand who you are and whom you represent. If you represent Islam, Islam is universal, not global, not international. Don't ever demean and never, forever demean Islam and call it an internationalism. You are a waste of time. You are a waste of time by saying Islam is an international religion or global. Islam is a universal religion. Prophet ﷺ, when he came from Taif, after he was, and people were throwing him, and he is bleeding, Allah, to comfort his heart, he met a young man, was Christian. His name was Addas, and he gave him the grape, العنب. And when he said Bismillah, he said, I never heard this Bismillah before. He said, where are you? Prophet ﷺ asked the young man, said, I am from Nainawa. Oh, the land of my brother Sayyidina Yunus alayhi salam. Said, do you know Yunus? Yes, I know Yunus. He's my brother. He was a prophet and I'm a prophet. Addas became a Muslim. So Prophet ﷺ took the opportunity to talk to anybody. Then when he came out with Zayd, you know what happened? What happened? To know that Islam is a universal message from the very beginning. He went to talk to the jinni, al-jinn, and he recited Quran, and some of them became Muslim. If the jinni became Muslim, and human become Muslim, you are not a global message. It's Quran. Where's the Quran? Give me anything. Oh, so how is it me? Oh, I got everything from my book. Yeah, the first one. This book does not belong to Muslims. It belongs to the universe. It belongs to every creation of God. Jinn, angel, animals, birds, and human beings. You have to tell them, read it. We don't want you to become Muslims. Read it. We want you to understand the value of knowledge and compare it to other revelation and make up your mind. Because we don't want people to become, we don't want Islam to become more in number, but more in quality. This book is not for Muslims only. It's for the universe and for all the creation of Allah. Unfortunately, we keep it to ourselves, and by keeping it to ourselves, we start to fight about how to interpret it inside ourselves, not exposing the great wealth of knowledge inside it to the outside world. This is an absolute act of stupidity and ignorance on the side of the Muslim individual. So that's why the Jinni became Muslim, Addas became Muslim, and Prophet ﷺ came out not broken hearted, but actually motivated to carry on, to carry on, to carry on. That's why you are still here today. Muhammad, yes sister, Allahu Akbar, Sufi, 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 and next to you. Yeah, and both of you. Yes. Get the question from my brother. Yes. My daughter. I look like her mother. Same. She told me. Yeah.
Dr. Hani,
Yes.
the question is, what do you think Islamic Relief's responsibility is in the charity sector?
Islamic Relief is a leader. They have to understand the leadership is a quality. Quality by what? By doing what others cannot do. You can do relief work. Anybody can do relief work. You can think about development, but who is talking about research? Who is talking about studies? Who is talking about human rights? Who is delivering books and policy papers? Islamic Relief has to lead by raising the ceiling of the bars of the, you call it humanitarian? I don't call it humanitarian anymore. I call it Christianitarian. This is my terminology. When I was qualified from Islamic Relief 2008, 2006, we created this, we started this word Christianitarianism versus humanitarianism. Humanitarianism refers everything to human, Christianitarianism refers everything to the Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Islamic Relief has to raise the ceiling of the sector higher and to be the leader by research, by think tank, by producing policies, by producing new terminology, by producing new values and philosophy of thinking. Without this, you are like anybody else. I don't know how many Qurbani Islamic Relief raised this year.
18,000.
Huh?
18,000.
No, globally. Some organization raised 200,000. So what? It's a cow and sheep and the goat and the camel. So what? Anybody can do it. But not anybody can make a think tank. But not anybody can produce a policy paper. But not anybody can actually produce books. This is what you need to do to become a leader. And you keep changing your philosophy of thinking to let the people behind you follow your thoughts, your idea, and your philosophy, and your direction. This is how you maintain leadership. Leadership does not earn money and is not in the program that anybody else can do. Yes, sister?
I have just a spin off from the last question. Do you have a really personal story about a specific person or person?
So she's following up on the previous question. Do you have a specific story on someone, a donor, a beneficiary, anybody that you met that has always stuck with you? Right holder or someone who donated, or one story that you met somebody that has stuck with you?
The best one of them is Pakistan. We were coming from Afghanistan by car, from Kabul by car, to Jalalabad, to Haran by car, through Peshawar by car. Then we wanted to go to Kashmir on the same day. So we stopped in Islamabad, then we went straight on the mountain. And this, I'm very, very proud of saying this about this man. It was myself, Adnan, as well as Abdul Mannan, going to the mountain of Kashmir. Yeah.
No, this was Sadroti, NRSP.
Huh?
When we were working with NRSP.
No.
Water projects.
That's right.
Water project,
Yeah, that's right.
It's Kalandari.
Yeah, planter.
Yes.
But before, you know, we were stopped by a man on the side of the road. Old man. He was waving to us. We thought that he wants some money. I told Adnan, go and give him 500 rupees. The man, because he was dumb, could not be able to speak, said, No. What does he want? He wants a lift. He came with us in the car. He was in the back seat and the front seat. When he came to the car, the smell of the sweat was very heavy. We have to open all.
Oh, really?
We have to open all.
It's the Prime Minister of Albania.
So, you are more important than him, by the way. Okay.
So you love your Prime Minister that you talked on.
Okay. So he came to the room, to the car, and we opened the windows because we failed to smell the smell of his suffering, of the sweat. We were so weak to stand to smell the smell of his sweat. When I looked back at him, he smiled a smile that I will never forget. I never saw a smile like that. Then he was directing us to his house or where he wanted to go. I want to take a photograph with him. You know that I love taking photographs. That Aisha told me that, and Shahrayar was telling me that. By the time I took my telephone, the camera with me, and ran after him, he disappeared, vanished. Whether he was a real man, he was an angel. This is a story. I keep repeating it. We gave him the lift. He gave us a smile. We won't take the souvenir from him as a photo? No. He disappeared. This is the most memorable man and the most memorable smile from Pakistan. Yes, Brother Asif.
You said, Dograni, you said is that we relief work any organization can do. We should do some value addition, leadership role like research, advocacy, difficult topics. But you know, Islamic Relief tried this thing in past. We were good in gender in Islam and whatsoever, like the topics we picked. But you know, then we went in the flow of this advocacy research so much that all the priorities went there. But our strength was mainly the service delivery to the people. That aspect has become weakened. But we became good in advocacy. So how you keep your strengths intact and enter in the new areas?
All right. Your advocacy, your research, and your human rights based on the local knowledge.
Okay.
It cannot come from the office in London, or the office in New York, or the office in whatever country. No. It has to be the local community as a partner. If you want to create any research paper any advocacy paper, any think tank, you have to involve the local community with you. As this kind of new partnership, which I believed, I mentioned a new acronym. AHOPE. What AHOPE means? Alternative, Humanitarian, Operational, Partnership Engagement. So your real partnership will be based on operational engagement. On operational engagement. That's what I want people to. You people cannot succeed without the jewels of the local community. The jewels and the treasure and the wealth of knowledge and the experience of the local community. Pioneering is local, becomes global. Invention is local, becomes global. And this is what I am basing on my discussion on the local community. Operational engagement with them. Operational engagement, not just giving them a talk, not just giving them money, but operationally engage with them. When you do something, they engage with you in the field. They don't need your money. You know why? Because most of the genius people started on earth. I give you an example of ED Foundation.
Yes, sir.
ED Foundation from Pakistan. ED was a door-to-door salesman, not educated. His mother died because there was no ambulance. Was not educated like most of you, or all of you. But he invented one of the most successful organization in Pakistan to look after ambulances, whether by car or by helicopter. That's ED Foundation. He did not have the money. He did not have the, what do you call it, the money and what else?
Social
The social, whatever it is. But he had the idea. And he drove the idea till he died
Yes.
in Pakistan. And you carry on the story of ED. Abdul Sattar ED.
Yeah, Abdul Sattar Idi started from a very humble background, and as Dr. Hani mentioned that the ambulance, he started the first private ambulance service in Pakistan from Karachi. And then his ambulance was serving during the terrorist attacks when there were bomb blasts and all this. So he was shifting the patients in the beginning, then he was shifting the dead bodies in different accidents, and the other thing he was doing was that he was giving a bath to the dead bodies in the Islamic way. So all these things made him like he was very humble till his death. So all these things made him very popular, and people started trusting on him. And then at the end, this ED ambulance is the largest private ambulance service in the world.
Thank you. You want to say something? Any other question, brothers and sisters? Yes, Bismillah. Go ahead, brother, get the question. Get the question from sister Sana. Norway. Come on, Norway.
Yes.
You have to be very proud of your daughter. Smiling, huh? What is the question? Yes, good. Alhamdulillah. Come on.
Dr. Hani, you mentioned about planting fertile soil to build something. Can you give an example in the humanitarian sector that we can learn from?
Harder. African Muslim Agency in Kuwait. Abdurrahman al-Sumait was a medical doctor like myself, but he is my ustaz, was my ustaz. He started responding to the problem of the people of Malawi 40 years ago, more than 40 years ago, from a very humble beginning. Then he built a big organization which up to now working more than 30 countries in Africa, specializing in Africa. Now it's called Direct Aid. He used to take his children and his wife to spend the summer holiday in Africa. To spend the summer holiday in Africa. I'm saying it again. To spend the summer holiday in Africa, not in Paris, not in London, not in where else, Italy, whatever it is, in Africa. In Africa. He started from nothing. From nothing. And now it is 40, it's exactly the same age of Islamic Relief. And this is a very humble beginning, but somebody was very strong believer in putting the right seed at the fertile soil, and as a farmer, he himself was guarding it till he died. A farmer should not leave the land, otherwise it will become infertile. It will become dusty, dry, and the plants will die. A farmer should be there. It's not enough to have the right seed and the fertile land and the water, but who's looking after it? You as the farmer. Yes, Sister Sana? Somebody else was raising his hand?
Any other questions?
Yes?
I have a question.
Yes?
I really want to know, when it comes to like Islamic relief, it's always like an emergency, right? But I'm really big on sustainable living and building that. So I'm thinking of like doing more stuff on the website that's more
Afghanistan's in the bad.
sustainable giving and specific like things that we can do to raise funds around that in that area of land. So what does he think?
So we do a lot of emergency
Emergency,
response
yeah.
work, but she wants to think like let's focus towards more sustainability and add it onto our website. What sustainable work do you think that we can
Okay.
do and build?
Okay. The easiest thing anybody can do is emergency response. The easiest is emergency response. Emergency response should be the beginning of sustainability. And nowadays, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem, from saying him as I or I as him. If you don't understand English, forget it. I have something called 70-30 from the very beginning. Because with emergency response, most of the money come to organization during the emergency. After the camera leaves, no money will come. So if you raise 100,000 or 1 million, only spend up to 70% of the money on emergency response, which is the traditional emergency response, and the 30% on the non-traditional response, which is capacity building, community building, municipality building, and. Even from the 30%, you can start making waqf. This is now something. Other thing is, if you start an organization, sister, make a disclaimer from day one about that you are going to save 1 or 2% of the fund for waqf. From the very beginning, every donation coming to you, you will save 1% in the waqf fund. Because waqf is a very long-term cause or foundation of sustainability. Without waqf, you will never become sustainable. So from the very beginning, when you register your charity, educate your donor that I will take 1 pence from a pound or 2 pence from a pound to keep it in the waqf fund and others. So here, I allow, Astaghfirullah Azim, Sister Afghanistan, I allow you, sorry, listen to me, listen to this. Because, because my age is about 43, 44 years in the field of humanitarian or Christian and social work. I can give a fatwa after 44 years of experience and knowledge. Fatwa from experience by saying you can take up to 5% of the fund from any fund you raise to make it a strategic reserve to the organization, including waqf, including research and others. You have to think outside the box. Sorry. Khalas. You have to think outside the box. How are you going to make your research
to get the money from? How are you going to make think tank? How you can make policy paper? How you can make? You have to to educate the donor from the very beginning, and this will be a part of not the administration, a part of the program that I take up to 5% of this for A, B, C, D, E. You got it? Sustainability is about saving from the money of every donation as well as the emergency response fund. The classical examples of what the humanitarian response fund given to Syria was very ugly and very capitalistic and very imperialistic. You know why? Because they kept giving the Syrian humanitarian response fund, it has to be spent today within 6 months. The Syrian did not want the food basket, the food boxes, and said many times, we are educated, talented, and know what we want to do for our community. But no, the donor wanted them to live on this donation, and they became dependent on the donation. And this is the colonization. Be careful when you receive the fund from a donor. There's something called donor's culture. Donor will ask you to change some of your policy to accept the money. If you have your, anyway, it's a question. If you have your own fund, you can decide your direction. But if you rely on international fund or government fund, you follow their direction. And I think from the start, we did not allow Islamic Relief to receive from the governments and from INGO more than 20% to 25% of the actual fund. To have the 75 to 80% from our grassroots. It strengthens the grassroots fundraising activity, whether from the field offices, which some of them are very wealthy, or from where you are. Be in connection and communication with the local community in Europe, in America, as well as in the field offices. They are very resourceful. And money is a part of the game, but money is not the whole game. Yes, sister, Afghanistan's in the bad. Anybody else? Anybody else? Haram.
Dr. Hani, what's
Yeah.
أكثر شيء لازم يشوقه على الطريق.
He tell you, we have to show them the way. Older generation has to give the stick of the relay team to the younger generation while they are there. Don't come and tell me after you retired you have the time for me. No. A leader who has to find the time for the young people on the organization while he is in authority or he is in the leadership position. Not after he leaves, Sister Sophia. Not after he leaves, while he is there, having the authority, Sister Shahryar. So this is leadership. Don't come and tell me when you are 70, yes, now I have the time to sit down with you. Thank you, sir. You can't lead me anymore. Anybody else?
what's the next country you want Islamic Relief to open in?
There is no end of finding countries, because now the need became more than it was before. The poverty level became more. I tell you something, is any one of you reviewed the 2016 what's the summit called? World Humanitarian Summit?
2016.
We're discussing it amongst ourselves in humanitarian forum about what is the outcome of what they call it, leave no one behind, local funding, localization, what's the third one, and who is reviewing it? Nobody. When we get the Millennium Development Goal, we said by the end of 2015 we will eradicate poverty. That's right?
Yes.
Where is it? Now we bought SDG SDG,
Yes.
Sustainable Development Goals, 17 goals. How many of them have been achieved from 2016 up till now? Are we going to have a follow-up global summit, humanitarian summit, after the 2016 one, 10 years ago? And who reviewed the outcome of it? Nobody. And here you have to ask yourself the question: what is the value of the humanitarian sector and the humanitarian principle and if nobody is reviewing it? Anybody else? Question? Yes?
Brother Asif.
This morning, Dr. Hani, you mentioned that you should have the right vision, a good quality seed, and a fertile land. You have clarified about the fertile land and the good quality seed and a vision. And then you also mentioned that we always need to plan for the next level.
Yes.
So what is the next level?
There is no ceiling for next level. Okay? This is number one. Remove the ceiling. I tell you something. One of the practical examples of Islamic Relief partnership with Humanitarian Forum, or the World Humanitarian Action Forum, is we organized, Libya Storm 2023. We organized the most dynamic and effective workshop for a week. And here, the unique thing about what you need to buy the book, because the book is named Islamic Relief and World Humanitarian Action Forum. And Salah is bringing some copies today. How to work in Libya, which Libya is divided in two parts, East and West. We have the contact with the West, and we have to get the contact of the East. We managed to get the contact of the East to try to organize this workshop for 1 week. The number of people attending every day was nearly 90 to 100 from 40 cities and towns inside Libya. With the permission of the East, Mabruka, and the West, the other one, which is, I can't remember her name. No, Aisha from the East. Because she's from Benghazi. أنا Benghazi أنا كمان. So, we changed the workshop into a book. And inside the book, you can become policy paper. For Syria, what we are doing nowadays, we are making hands-on local consultation of the role of civil society organization in helping the country. We did 9 workshops, and we were waiting for the Northwest, which is the Kurdish area, to complete 13, to produce a policy paper. So